The Secrets of the Silent Abode. It was a warm summer evening when my friends and I set out on an adventure to explore an old, abandoned house that stood alone in the middle of a vast, open field. We'd heard rumors about this place for years, but no one had ever dared to enter. The sun was slowly sinking below the horizon as we approached the house. Its dark silhouette stood against the fading light, and the air was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. We'd driven for miles to reach this remote location, bumping along a dirt road that seemed to lead nowhere. As we parked our car, the chirping of crickets filled the air, and the sky above was painted with hues of orange and pink. The place had a strange, isolated beauty, but it was also undeniably creepy. We had no idea what we were getting into, but our curiosity pushed us forward. The stories and legends surrounding the house had always intrigued us. Some said it was haunted by the spirits of those who'd lived there long ago, while others claimed it was a site of strange occurrences that defied explanation. We were determined to find out the truth, or at least see if there was any substance to the tales about the lonely house in the field. As we approached the house, the field around us was overgrown with tall, wild grass. The path leading to the front door was barely visible, hidden beneath the lush vegetation. We were forced to trudge through the untamed flora, our footsteps muffled by the thick, swaying grass. The house loomed closer now, revealing its true state of disrepair. The wooden boards were weathered and peeling, the windows shattered, and the front porch had partially collapsed. An odd sense of abandonment hung over the place. There was an eerie silence, disturbed only by the occasional rustling of leaves in the breeze. The warm, golden hues of the setting sun cast long, ominous shadows that stretched across the field, making the house appear even more foreboding. We exchanged nervous glances but pressed on, feeling the weight of anticipation and unease grow with every step. As we cautiously approached the front door, its once grand facade had succumbed to time's relentless march. The peeling paint and cracked wood hinted at the stories the house had to tell. The door, surprisingly, was unlocked, and it creaked open with a mournful groan. The smell of decay and mildew hit us like a physical force as we entered. The interior was dimly lit, with dusty furniture draped in tattered white sheets, frozen in time. Our footsteps echoed through the empty hallways, the floorboards groaning beneath us. We explored room after room, each one revealing glimpses of the lives that had once been lived here. Faded photographs on the walls, forgotten children's toys strewn on the floor, and a forgotten family's history scattered throughout. One thing was certain: this house had been abandoned in haste. It was as if its previous occupants had fled, leaving behind their belongings and their memories. The air felt heavy with the weight of untold stories. As we moved deeper into the house, the silence seemed to grow more oppressive, and a sense of being watched from the shadows nagged at the edges of our minds. Our curiosity grew with every room we entered, but so did the strange feeling that we were intruding on something profoundly personal. It was as if the house itself was silently urging us to leave, but our desire to uncover its secrets kept us going deeper into its haunted depths. There was a palpable tension in the air, and we couldn't help but wonder what secrets this forsaken house held, and what might be lurking in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. In the dim light, we continued our exploration of the house. It was clear that time had taken its toll on the once grand structure. Our footsteps echoed as we moved from room to room, revealing the remnants of lives long gone. We discovered an old, peeling wallpaper in what appeared to be a children's room. Faded, childish drawings and a lone, broken toy train sat in a corner. The sight of it sent a shiver down our spines. What happened to the child who had once called this room home? The air felt charged with an unsettling energy, as though the house itself was trying to communicate with us. The feeling of being watched intensified, and we couldn't help but exchange nervous glances. The mystery of this place was becoming more unnerving by the minute, but our curiosity still drove us to explore further. We continued our exploration, now with a heightened sense of unease. The more rooms we entered, the more we felt like unwelcome guests in a place that didn't want to give up its secrets. In one room, we discovered an old dining table, covered in a layer of dust, as if someone had left it hastily. The chairs were pushed back, as if the occupants had abruptly abandoned their meal. Forgotten plates, now covered in grime, were still set, frozen in time. Every room had a story to tell, but none of them revealed what had driven the inhabitants away. We felt like we were being watched, but there was no one to be seen. The silence was oppressive, interrupted only by the occasional creak of the house settling. As we moved deeper into the house, it became clear that something had gone terribly wrong here. It was an unshakable feeling, a sense that the house was trying to communicate with us in its own eerie, silent way. Our curiosity still drove us forward, but with each passing moment, we couldn't help but wonder if uncovering the truth was worth the growing sense of dread that hung in the air. Our exploration of the attic revealed more of the house's forgotten history. The cramped space was filled with dusty old boxes, their contents hidden from the world for decades. Among them, we found an assortment of yellowing journals and faded letters. As we sifted through the pages, the story of the house's previous inhabitants began to take shape. A family had once lived here, their daily lives and personal struggles chronicled in the journals. They spoke of happier times, of birthdays celebrated, and holidays shared within these very walls. But as we continued to read, the tone of the entries changed. The writings became darker, hinting at an unseen force that had gradually consumed the family's joy. They described strange occurrences, unexplained noises in the night, and a sense of being watched by an unseen presence. One journal, in particular, contained a disturbing revelation. It spoke of a hidden room in the house, a room that the family believed held the key to their torment. They referred to it as the heart of darkness. The more we delved into their accounts, the more we became convinced that our journey to this lonely house had taken an unsettling turn. The mystery was deepening, and the sense of dread in the attic was palpable. We knew we had to find this hidden room and uncover the secrets it held. Determined to unravel the mystery that hung over the house, we decided to search for the hidden room mentioned in the journal. Armed with flashlights, we descended from the attic and explored the house once more. After some time, we discovered a loose floorboard in one of the hallways. It took some effort, but we managed to pry it open, revealing a dark, narrow staircase leading down into the depths of the house. The stale air that wafted up from below gave us pause, but we pressed on. The staircase seemed to descend into darkness, the steps creaking underfoot. It was as if we were delving into a hidden part of the house that had been kept secret for a reason. Our flashlights revealed the passage was old, damp, and lined with cobwebs. As we descended further, the anticipation weighed heavily on our minds, and we couldn't help but wonder what we might find in the depths of this lonely, forgotten place. The narrow staircase led us to a small, dimly lit chamber hidden beneath the house. It was evident that this room had been kept secret, as though the family who once lived here had gone to great lengths to conceal it. The walls were adorned with strange symbols and drawings, and in the center of the room, an ancient, ornate chest rested. It was covered in dust, but when we opened it, we discovered an array of bizarre ornaments and trinkets. Each item within the chest emitted a disturbing, otherworldly glow. The air in the chamber grew thick with an unnatural energy as we examined the mysterious objects. It was as if the very presence of these ornaments cast a shadow over our thoughts and senses. The items were unlike anything we had ever seen, with intricate carvings and inscriptions in a language that was unfamiliar and unsettling. As we gazed upon the eerie ornaments and trinkets in the chest, a sense of dread hung in the air. It was clear that these objects were the source of the darkness that had plagued the house and its former inhabitants for generations. With a mixture of curiosity and trepidation, we carefully examined the artifacts, tracing the strange symbols and inscriptions etched into them. The room felt charged with an unnatural energy, as if the very air had grown heavy with malevolence. In our fascination, we unwittingly disturbed the ancient relics. A low, haunting hum filled the chamber, and the ornaments began to emit an unholy, pulsating light. The symbols on the walls seemed to come to life, and the entire chamber quaked with a dark force. Fear surged through us as we realized that we had awakened something beyond our understanding. The room became a maelstrom of supernatural energy, and shadows danced on the walls, contorted and menacing. We knew we had to leave, but escape seemed impossible as the malevolent force enveloped us. Desperation and fear gripped our hearts as we struggled to shut the chest. In our frantic efforts, one of the ornaments fell to the ground and shattered, releasing a piercing, soul-chilling shriek that echoed through the house. With all our strength, we managed to seal the chest, and the chamber fell into an eerie silence. But the malevolence had been set free, and the house seemed to shudder with a newfound, restless energy. We fled, knowing that we had uncovered a darkness that should have remained hidden, leaving the lonely house behind and vowing never to return. As we left, we couldn't help but wonder what malevolent entity we had unleashed, and what horrors might now lurk within the house, waiting for the next curious souls to cross its threshold. The haunting secrets of the lonely house in the field remained, and our journey had ended in a revelation that we could never have anticipated. And so, as we drove away from that forsaken place, the once quiet field seemed to whisper secrets of its own. The dark presence that we had unwittingly awakened would now linger within the house, a menacing force that could not be contained. Our exploration had come to an end, but the mystery of the lonely house would endure, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed, and that there are depths of darkness that should never be uncovered. That's all for today, folks. If you've enjoyed today's story, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of it and what type of story you would like to hear about next. See you all very soon.